If you're a real estate agent who's ever thought about quitting real estate, you need to watch this video because I'm going to unveil how I almost quit real estate. I think it was 6 months into it. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Hani Faraj with Real Estate Legacy Builders. And today I want to talk about how I almost quit real estate. So stay tuned to the end. Okay. If you've never been to this channel, please make sure you subscribe, you like, and you hit the thumbs up button. Okay, but I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So when I got into real estate, I was about 31 years old or so. Okay, and prior to that, I'd had some success, but nothing crazy. I think the most money I ever made at that time was like $60,000, and it wasn't anything like impressive at all. Okay, before getting into real estate, I had multiple businesses that I didn't make any money at, or I failed, or whatever. And actually, before becoming a real estate agent, I was a mortgage broker who wasn't very successful. I struggled. I did a couple of deals. It was very hard for me to even get going or understand even the business of mortgages. Okay, so I ended up quitting, going to a telecom company, and just doing nothing. And then this guy came in. He's like, "Look, I think you should become a realtor. You seem like you're very methodical. You like to do things consistently with everybody that you deal with." And he said, "Look, I think you should 100% become a realtor." So I ended up saving my butt off, saving a bunch of money, borrowing some money from my wife or taking money from my wife, and getting my license. And unfortunately, after doing a bunch of different things, I first started doing for sale by owners. I did expired listings. I did a bunch of different things. I even had to, committed myself to coaching. And I did all the things that people told me that I should do and I should commit to. And unfortunately, nothing was working. Unfortunately. Okay. So, but I had done this one thing, and this one thing, I wasn't really sure how it's going to work. So basically, I created like a simple landing page with like a little form, and the form basically kind of told people, look, if you're looking for these type of properties, I'm going to send you these properties on your inbox. And it's simple. It's such a like now that I look at it, it's very low tech. And actually, when they gave me their information, they were actually pushed to realtor.ca, which is crazy. And then what I did, I would pick up the phone, call them, and say, "Hey, what are you looking for? Let me clarify that." And I'd add them into this MLS program at the time. I think it was Fusion or Relax Exchange or something like that. Okay. So very low tech. Okay. And one of the people that I talked to, a really nice guy. And so I'm sitting there, and this is after 6 months. So I'd done all these different things, except one of the things that I had done was this internet lead generation, very low tech, very, very low tech. And in fact, I'd actually stopped it because I was like, this is not working. Nobody's responding. Nobody's talking to me. Nobody wants to talk to me, all this stuff. So I was sitting there, and I still remember the day. I was like, man, this is going to be another one of those things that I'm going to quit. I failed at this. I'm a horrible failure. This really sucks. And sure enough, I eventually get this call from this guy, and he says, "Hey, you've been sending me these properties in Richmond, which is a suburb of Vancouver. And you know what? I want to see this property." And it was $800,000, which is really cheap at the, without comparing to now. It was 800,000. And he's like, "I want to see this property. Can you show me more about this? Can you show me more about that? Can you whatever, whatever?" And again, he wasn't the best client. Eventually, like a year later, he ended up buying, but it kind of woke me up. And I was like, holy crap, you know what? I generated about 80 leads here, and one of them is going to buy. And he was very serious. He was qualified. He had tons of money and all this stuff. And I was just like, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And again, like I said, I almost quit real estate because of that. Up until that point, I was literally ready to quit. And sure enough, I ended up talking to the guy within I think 3 4 weeks. I went and took him on tour, and he made an offer on another property. And then he quit buying for 6 months, and then he bought. But it was the kind of the tinder that kind of ignited my awakening, if you will, that I realized like I kind of had messing around. I was doing things very passively. I would like start lead generating, and I'll stop lead generating. I'll start lead generating. I'll stop lead generating. It's not how you do business, man. You gotta freaking gotta do this consistently. You can't do like dinky dink rinky dink work. You gotta be consistent. And I realized just because people are not responding to me, that doesn't mean they're not interested in buying, that they were interested in buying. They were just like sitting on the sideline. And everybody does that. A lot of good buyers, a lot of good people, they hide behind a screen. And that's okay, by the way. That's completely okay. Yeah, because they think that every sales guy wants to sell them something. Let's be honest, right? So that's kind of what I'm here for is that quitting is very easy. But the problem with quitting is it teaches you to give up easily. And I think that's what had happened with my previous businesses that I had started. Is I quit too early, I gave up too soon, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. It was not very good. I had to, I paid, in my previous business, I gave up too easily. I didn't have the right people. I didn't get the right coaching and all that stuff. And the for sale by owners, at least in my area, for me, it didn't work. It wasn't my personality. Eventually, I would kind of accumulate some notoriety and or experience, and I learned how to close a bunch of for sale by owners, and same thing with expireds and so on. Like I just got it expired right now and stuff, but it was not a good fit for a brand new agent to do. So I kind of cut my teeth with these internet leads, and I'll show you guys in a different video how to do it and if you should do it or not. It's really important for you to kind of realize if you're going to do it or not, so on and so forth. So, but I just wanted to kind of share this idea how I almost quit real estate. You know, uh, Basically, I did some marketing. I got the leads. Thank God I actually put the leads into action. I actually had put them into action. I actually had put them on a drip campaign to receive listings from my MLS. I didn't buy some fancy Boomtown Commissions Rank, whatever. You don't need all that fancy stuff. You can just do something simple. Okay. And sure enough, what happened was I eventually got this guy to buy with me, and a bunch of people ended up from that batch of leads ended up buying with me. I think I got about 10% return because I just kept following up and following up and following up and following up and just keeping in touch and adding value and so on and so forth. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best guy at follow up, but eventually I learned how to do it properly and consistently. And I always, when I call people, it wasn't like, hey, are you looking to sell? Are you looking to sell? I was just like, hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And again, I didn't invent this stuff. Somebody else has done it before me. But I just want to tell you, do not quit real estate. And I'll share with you the best advice I ever got in real estate. And it was really mind blowing. Um, I went to this coaching class, and it was around this time before this guy called me. And he said this is like nobody ever quits real estate. They just run out of money. So let that sink in. He said, no one ever quits real estate. They just run out of money. And he's right. At least where I live, where I am, like it's $200 plus to just belong to a real estate board. It's about $500. Like, it depends on the office. It could be 20,000, it could be 22,000, it could be 15,000. I don't know. To become a part of a brokerage, whether it's monthly or whatever, like whether you cap, obviously, if you don't do any deals, you don't pay anything in some of these companies that are completely zero fees up front. But to me, it was a big deal. Like I didn't want to deal with that, to be honest with you. Um, you know, so I'm gonna say the following is that do not quit before you actually give it a real chance to actually become a realtor. Okay, do not quit. Okay, because you don't know what's behind what's ahead and what's store for you. Okay, and I want to share this idea with you about. You guys have heard the story of Acres of Diamonds, and I probably butcher it. I've listened to it through Earl Nightingale, and it's a fable. It's not. I'm not sure if it's a real story, but it's a fable. The fable says there's two farmers that live side by side. One of the farmers left, and he sold his farm to his neighbor, looking for acres of diamonds. He looked for supposed diamonds. So he sold everything. Eventually, the priest came to visit the guy that was left with the two farms, and he said, "Look, did you hear your neighbor? The guy that he sold you the farm ended up dying. They found him somewhere in the middle of nowhere, dead and starving, and all that stuff." And the guy's like, "No, unfortunately, I didn't hear that. That's too bad." And as the priest was leaving, he found this like sparkly thing on the mantle above the fireplace. And he said, "Look, what is this? Where did you find it?" And he's like, "Oh, there's a bunch of them in the back of this ravine and the back of this property that I bought." from the guy who passed away. And he's like, "What are you talking about? This might be valuable." So ended up being one of the biggest diamonds they've ever seen. In the ravine, there's a bunch of these sparkly things and so on and so forth. And the guy who sold the farm looking for diamonds, the diamonds were right there on his farm. He just didn't look for them. Okay. And this is kind of very similar to a lot of realtors. I mean, I see this all the time. I'll have people come into my literally people will quit and say, you know, these internet leads, because I do a lot of internet leads, they suck, they're horrible, they're this, they're that. It's okay. No problem. I get it. And then literally walk away and I'll do deals with those people. I'll book appointments with the same leads that they had. Are all internet leads great? No. Are all for sale buyers great? No. Are all expired home people are the expired listings great? No, they're not. Of course, if they were, everybody would do it, and everybody would be printing money. Let's be honest with you. The reason why real estate agents make a decent amount of money is because the good are really skilled. They spend money on their skills. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, if you are in action and you don't let this get in the way of your success, then I promise you, you are sitting on acres of diamonds. You just got to keep digging, man. You got to just keep digging. You got to get into action. Got to get your hands dirty. You got to sweat. You got to eat poop a little bit sometimes. And that's what it is. Okay. So I hope that's valuable for you. I hope you don't quit. But this is how I almost quit real estate. And I almost do it every day, honestly. It'd be bullshit if I told you, oh yeah, I love real estate, it's great. Sometimes are really hard. Just keep that in mind. And if it gets hard, no problem, just keep going. Find somebody who wants to deal with you, and the rest is easy. Okay. Hope you guys have a great success. Read your comments. I want you to tell me when you almost quit real estate below. Okay. I'd love to get your experience. Would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sharing this not because um, I'm so great or there's something special about me. I'm sharing this because I want people not to give up before they have to. Okay? That's the honest to God truth. Okay, don't give up because there's something great for you at the end of this. Okay, it'll make you a better person, it'll build character, it'll change your family's life and your life. Thank you. Have a good day. Cheers, guys. Bye.